Girl, you my ride or die. Like a diamond, we will shine. Baby girl, it's you and I. Baby, I won't leave your side. Girl, you my ride or die. Like a diamond, we will shine. Baby girl, it's you and I. Baby, I won't leave your side. In the end, I'm your TP. I'm the beach, you're the bikini. The remote control, you're the TV. DVD player, I'm the CD. I can see us closer than 3D. Girl, your love is sweeter than kiwi. I can be your Adam, you can be Eve. I'm gon' bite that apple, believe me. I've been searching hard for your love, like a miner digging for gold. And if haters were the ocean, we would stay afloat with the boats. And if you were 4 tires, I would let you ride on my road. If I were your stripper pole, would you work me until I'm rusty and old? Oh yeah, right. You my ride or die. Like a diamond, we will shine. Baby girl, it's you and I. Baby, I won't leave your side. You my ride or die. Like a diamond, we will shine. Baby girl, it's you and I. Baby, I won't leave your side. Face with angel eyes, you must be heaven sent. Our hearts had a collision and it, mind you, left a dent. This love is meant to happen, girl, it's not an accident. So if you give me your heart, I promise I will represent. You're my pieces, I'm your puzzle. You're my rain, I'm your puddles. You're my teddy bear like Snuggles. If it's team us, let's huddle. We can be strength in life struggles. You're my red nose with no muzzle. I can be the product, you can be the dollars. Girl, let's orchestrate this hustle. Oh yeah, right. Girl, you my ride or die. Like a diamond, we will shine. Baby girl, it's you and I. Baby, I won't leave your side. You my ride or die. Like a diamond, we will shine. Baby girl, it's you and I. Baby, I won't leave your side. I am direction.
Begin at tuneslikebeard.com.
She waits on her baby. On some that brighten up my day. I'm in love with you and girl, won't you stay? If I tell you I'm in love with you, tell me you feel the same. So stay, stay. Baby, oh, baby, oh. You know that I want you, and I will never ever break your heart, though. Baby, oh, you know that I want you, and I will never ever break your heart, though. You are the air I breathe, the one for me, my medicine, my only medicine. You are the air I breathe, the one for me, my medicine, my only medicine. God, I love you, baby. Hey, hey, hey. God, I love you, baby. Hey, hey, hey. God bless the day I'm born you, oh. I feel good, I'm around you, oh. Yeah. Baby girl, I love you, I never know. You stole my heart, but I let it go, yeah. Just to prove my love all the time I lie. If I break your heart, then let me die. Baby, oh, you know that I want you, and I will never ever break your heart, though. Baby, oh, you know that I want you, and I will never ever break your heart, though. I love you, baby. Hey, hey, hey. God, I love you, baby. Hey, hey, hey. LEC is off, you brought me life. You are my life. You are my love, yeah. When I needed love, you brought me love. You are my love. You are my love, yeah. Baby, oh, baby, oh. You know that I want you. And I will never ever break your heart, though. I love you, baby. Hey, hey, hey. God, I love you, baby. Hey, hey, If I got problems, relationship not among them. And if they want me again, you're the only one I want. All of them, I want my Betty, oh yeah. She wanna see romance, oh yeah. My body so interesting, oh yeah. She get it back from Big Justin, oh yeah. Falling hard for you, oh yeah. Hard times too, oh yeah. My bad too, oh yeah. When you feeling my bad too, oh yeah. All of them, I want my Betty, oh yeah. She wanna see romance, oh yeah. My body so interesting, oh yeah. She get it back from Big Justin, oh yeah. Now I'm for you, oh yeah. All for you, oh yeah. My back too, oh yeah. Are you feeling my back too, oh yeah. My baby tell me say, she love my style. She really wanna be the one to walk down. Let me just die if I ever break your heart. If I ever lie, if I ever leave you, let me cry. Everything going on, you the only one who keeps me calming down. The way you give me peace of mind, I know that you don't ever want to see me frown. Now they got love I was looking for, do it anytime. Where you are, where you come from, where you from, come. Son, I'm a small wanna compare. Oh, no, sorry, what she doesn't compare. Oh, no. Boy, if you force her to show yourself, she will lay you down flat, that's so bad. Oh, no. That's my baby, yeah. You can blow all your own race. That's my baby, yeah, yeah, yeah. All of them, now they want my Betty, oh yeah. She wanna see romance, oh yeah. My body's so interesting, oh yeah.
A new Liberian restaurant and lounge with tasty Liberian and Afro-Caribbean cajun is opening in Morton, South Jersey this spring. The name is Sasa Bien. Sasa Bien is located at 300 East Braintree Road, Morton, New Jersey 08053. Sasa Bien specializes in ethnic Liberian, Afro-Caribbean, and Southern cuisines. We are 25 minutes drive from Philadelphia, 40 minutes drive from Wilmington, Delaware, 30 minutes drive from Trenton, 30 minutes drive from Bristol, and 20 minutes from Burlington, New Jersey. At Sasa Bien, we have a private lounge area for private parties and private and corporate meetings and events. Sasa is hiring for both full-time and part-time employees. The pay rate ranges between $16 to $22 per hour. Contact us today for all your bookings and reservations on 609-468-4232. That's 609-468-4232. Sasa Bien Restaurant and Lounge, a place with tasty dish and comfort. Do you care to know why thousands of people have switched from using oil-bomb paint to using Zize quality paint? Zize quality paint is a high-quality American non-hazard latex paint that doesn't fade or peel off your walls when applied. Zize quality paint comes in variety of colors that you can choose from. We even customize our customers' paint based on their request just to satisfy their desire. Stop by at any of our 3 branches at Police Academy Junction opposite NP Fueling Station, Baptist Seminary opposite Highway Gas Station, and St. Paul Bridge opposite Michael Plaza. Zize quality paint can be used for both interior and exterior painting works. Customers living overseas can pay through Zelle on 217-720-8858. You can contact us via cell numbers 0777-366-142 or 0770-496-273 or +121-772-08858. Think Zize, think quality.
Spicy love, what's next?
Do you need a car?
Ready for an upgrade?
Then come to Sika Motors, sole distributors of Toyota vehicles, Mitsubishi vehicles, and Yamaha motorbikes, genuine accessories and spare parts.
You name it, we have it. We have the 2022 brands of Toyota vehicles. Select from our new Toyota Starlight,
Toyota Belter, Toyota Rush.
We've got the best deal in town through our Sika Motors financing schemes with selected banks, EcoBank Liberia and UBA Liberia, starting at the lowest as 500 USD. You won't believe these prices. Come for quality, reliability, and durability. Take a spin and let's make a deal.
Sika Motors on UN Drive at Sailtown, Bushra Island, or call Sika Motors on +231 775 987 758 or email cmarketing@cfao.com. Sika Motors, drive with confidence.
Hey, God. Yeah, man. This is the third time this week that my car has broken down on me. Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, hello, brother. Yeah, God.
I say, excuse me, sir. Why do you have your car in the driveway? Don't you know you're obstructing traffic?
I'm sorry, my brother, but I'm frustrated and annoyed right now. I've been spending money on spare parts for this car 2 to 3 times every week. All my saving is gone, and now I'm in debt.
Okay, if that's what you say, do you know Sika Motor or have you heard of Sika Motors?
No, my brother. What do they do?
Listen very well. Sika Motors is the sole distributor of Toyota and Mitsubishi vehicles and Yamaha products, including motorbikes, generators, elbow machines, and many more.
Eh? You say what? But I told you I wanted to buy a car?
Okay. Sika Motors sells spare parts for all their brands of vehicles, motorbikes, and elbow machines. And your car at Toyota?
Yes, now. My car at Toyota.
Their spare parts are durable, genuine, long-lasting, very affordable, and always available.
Oh, for true? Then I'm wasting my time?
My man, you know I will not lie to you. Try Sika Motor and see.
Thank you so much, my brother, for giving me this information about Sika Motor spare parts.
They are located on the UN Drive in Sailtown, Bushra Island. You can contact them via email on sikamarketing@cfao.com.
Say no to fixed spare parts.
Yes, you hear it for yourself. Hurry now to Sika Motors and get yourself genuine and very affordable spare parts any day and anytime.
For more information, you can contact Sika Motors on 0775-987758 or 0881-937000.
We all know the headache we go through sending money to our loved ones, friends, and family in Liberia. High fees, long lines in banks, the usual complaint of the system being down, such a waste of time and energy. That is why I was very happy when I learned that SendWave is now in Liberia. So now I can send money anytime from anywhere directly from my smartphone to the MTN Lone Star Cell mobile money account of a loved one, friend, or family within seconds for just a tiny fee. So download SendWave now to your phone from your Apple Store or Google Play Store. Add your details, and don't worry, they are very safe and secure. And start sending money today. Don't forget to insert the promo code COSTA to get free $5 credit added to your first transfer. SendWave is secure, super fast, and by far the most affordable way to send money to Liberia. I'm Henry P. Costa and a very happy customer. Thank you.
morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to our many listeners out there in internet land, and to all of you who took up time to listen to this morning presentation of the Costa Morning Show, the nation premier platform where we discuss issues that matter. The time on my end is 6:31 a.m. in Pennsylvania and Eddystone. And I want to welcome all of you to this morning's presentation. Good morning, George, and good morning, Tevis. How you guys doing, man?
Good morning, Darlington. Good morning, Josh.
Mhm.
It is a pleasure being here again on the Nation Premier platform. Sorry I couldn't make my way yesterday because I've been down with a bit of cold and not feeling too okay. But I just got to have myself be made strong and then avail myself on the platform to make sure that I join you guys in what we love doing best. It's a good thing to be back on the nation's premier platform.
Thank you, Teves. And you know what to do, my man. You can visit the borough of Town. I will not tell you, but you know what the people have there to take care of that.
Sure.
Wish you all the best, my dear brother. George, how you doing, my man?
I'm doing great. Good to be here this morning on a wet Tuesday morning.
Right. You know, George is our behind the scene guy, who produces the show. You don't get to see a lot of the work that George engages into, but he's always behind the scenes. You know, think about boarding school, that teacher with the bell, early morning bell waking you up. That's George there. Always on our necks to get up early morning and encouraging us, to keep doing this what we do best. Thank you, George, for all your support. Well, guys, good morning again. Couple of things on our plate to talk about. Paramount among those, the government of Liberia, through the leader of the We Are Nometrics team, Samuel Tue. I think I'm getting some feedback. I think if you can mute when you're ready to speak, you here. Yeah. The leader of the We Are Nometrics team, Samuel Tue, have taken up itself to parade from radio station to radio station. Particularly, they started yesterday with ELBC. And for some reason, Samuel Tue has a way of throwing out these numbers, and so those are some of the things we're going to chat me this morning. So Samuel Tue and his man Eugene Nangbe, they have gone to ELBC, and the numbers, they were just basically massaging the numbers and basically making mockery all of the Liberian people. Samuel Tue, and I'm reporting to you, Liberians, this morning that Samuel Tue have said that Mr. Weah have moved about 24 to 27,000 Liberians out of poverty. So if you are part of the numbers that they have alleviated out of poverty, please, when we open up the line, please call here and tell us. Samuel Tue is talking about, all these upward trend, revenue intake. The economic graphs are not moved because George Weah want those graphs to move. There are indicators in the economy that causes those graphs along the economic graphs to shape up. Well, what are you talking about? Inflation? What are you talking about? Employment, underemployment, or so? 27 million, he said. He threw these big numbers out, in the public. I don't think he said 27 million because the population is not 27 million. I want to be fair. I think he said 27,000. Liberians, we're not 27 million. So I'm not going to sit on this platform and say that. But to throw out these numbers and present the picture to the Liberian people as if that they're doing everything well, that Mr. Weah, what Mr. Weah is doing. Look, there are indicators in the economy that shift the numbers upward. The basic factors, market forces. Just principle of macroeconomic stability. You're talking about for about 2 years when the Weah administration took over, they struggled to even have some stability in the foreign exchange rate. But Samuel Tue goes on and on. And sometimes when he's talking, even your colleague, Eugene Nangbe, sees off. Because these things must only be manufactured all of the 9th-floor office of Minister Samuel Tue. So Samuel Tue yesterday took off to ELBC and started to throw out these numbers, and they have met sharp criticism and resistance from the public. And the public have misreaction about Samuel Tue, the manufacturing of his numbers, that the people cannot see the real true impact about what is happening with Samuel Tue, especially with with how he managed to come up with these numbers. Teves, let me stop here. Probably I will chime in on it later. What do you make of Samuel Twe manufacturing those numbers and his presentation yesterday on the ELBC? Probably you have more to tell us. You have to unmute yourself, Teves. Yes, unmute yourself.
I'm sorry. At some point in time yesterday, while like I was skimming through the interview being conducted at the Labrador Broadcast System or Corporation, where we have two of senior government officials present, the president of Eugene Namu and that Samuel Twe, and trying to propagate policies and some of the purported or so-called gains made by the CDC-led government. Where a lot of things were said, but mine is drawn to with respect to what is under discussion as per the poverty rate in our country, how government has been able to minimally address that particular thing. It is not something that we should play with, right? If you say Darlington is doing good, we want to see from Darlington's reflection. We want to see those things that actually make Darlington good, for which we can judge and say Darlington, yes, is at certain level enjoying, is at certain level where it used to be, it's not at that level. But a case study with Liberia, I don't think those figures that Samuel Twe threw out, yes, the government has done some, but the expectation, manufacturing those numbers that Samuel Twe did yesterday, it was a serious mockery to the Liberian people. That is why I always say expectation, right? During the reign of Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, CDC had made us to believe that they are about to bring a change that will see Liberians living from the poverty line, from the lower edge of the poverty line, at some appreciated level. That's a belief that they made us to know that they will do. But unfortunately, Darlington, this has become the opposite. Instead of our people living from the edge of the poverty line, coming up to certain level, it has become a backward trend. Darlington. Look at the rate in the country. There's a simple economics. As the rate go up, the acting prices will go up. If you go buying Liberty, the kind of rate, the buying rate, the guys will call to you. If you have something around $1,000,
if we had the metrics, someone told me us to believe that they are making significant gains.
What's the gain, bro? That's what I'm talking about, reflection. That's what I'm talking about, reflection. Are we feeling those economic impacts that the government is making? Absolutely no. We are not feeling those impacts. Like I said, I won't be so ludicrous to say that the government hasn't done some good thing and stuff. They have, right? But at a minimum, at a maximum level, no. You have 6 years. You have 6 years to do certain amount of things that you have to do. You didn't do it. You performed dismally. Our expectation was being raised. That thinking that you could top those things that Manasele promised to do and she didn't do. That you were the best alternative. That you have made people to live at certain averages, right? And you said all of those good things. Only for you to come to power, we have seen the worsening condition our people are faced with. Darlington, you are not here, right? We are here facing our people in person. Darlington, the country is so much difficult. Darlington, even some of us who work at the end of the month before the salary comes, right? Because for like me, Darlington, I don't have that money, right? Where I will see my fellow men stranded and have $1 or $2.
Especially to where we normally go, Teves, when you see the commerce.
To our hub, at our hub on Carroll Street. I cannot see that I get $1 in my pocket and my fellow man is near me complaining about hunger, complaining about his family, some family members of his don't have food to eat. They create that mindset to say, oh, but only me. for me, the home that was been the discipline that was been given to me when I was coming up is to always share with my fellow friends, right? Because you don't know the next story. You know, after the next meeting, you don't know what yours will be. You don't know how the poverty rate in the country is so high. What is Samuel Twain and others taking us for? Why are they taking us for, Darlington? How can you say the government has done exploits, raising out what was it?
24,000.
24,000. Those jobs, I think 100,000 jobs the government plans to give every year. Right? Has the government been able to do it? Because if you provide jobs, right? If you provide jobs, people will have that particular stand, that particular authority to go and work and cater to their family. It is a form of erasing poverty, getting jobs for their people. The 1,000 jobs that they promise every year, and the 100,000 or something, 100,000 jobs or 1 million jobs they promise every year, right? Has the government been able to deliver on that promise? The government has reneged on the responsibility. Darlington, men, responsible men, whom could be respected yesteryears, has been turned into serious beggars.
You know, Teves, let me just hold you there. Thank you. Wow. You'll come back in and chime in, and then we'll close out on this topic. You know, like I said yesterday, I said some things on the show that if you think that the masses do not understand economics, you must be mistaken. Because the people may not understand your economic terms, your economic jargons, or the people understand the day-to-day activity in the economy. The daily economic indicators. The people are the end user of those services.
The bread and butter issue.
When the old man go to the Telawin hospital in Lofa County and she gets treated from the government hospital and to pay a little fee of nothing, she know that her government is working for her. When she go to Telawin, when they never have 24-hour electricity, when she go in the delivery room to see her daughter give birth, she sees the air conditioner works. She said, wow, Telawin is doing well. The Birmingham government hospital is doing well. So these people feed the market forces, the economic variable in the economy every single day. When prices are skyrocketing, when Papa take-home salary cannot match with expenditure, Papa knows that everything is not okay. When young people in the country wake up in the morning and the first thing they want to do is to probably have breakfast to eat. What kind of country? So many people wake up in the morning, they want to eat rice. I mean, Sylvester, man, you know, and that has been the culture of growing up. Some morning, the first thing we eat is kasali and pamato. What? How does that even process your thought process? People wake up in the morning. In developed societies, they want to even take a cup of tea.
Yeah.
And probably see if they can get some fruit snack, banana, you know, breakfast here and there. But a country you wake up to even get the first meal, it's tough. And you know, and that has been the culture from time and time without number. But just simple things, right, Tevis? There are principles of macroeconomics, price level stability. Yeah. You know, you're talking about stability in the foreign exchange rate, economic security. None of those indicators are booming. So where is Samuel Twain using? What barometer is he using? He takes these IMF report that talk about the continent of Africa on a broad-based spectrum, and then he averaged all of those kinds of analysis. And the guy sitting in the studio, even your colleague is looking at him somehow. When Samuel Twain is talking, he don't give nobody a chance. He thinks he's the best economist I've seen. And by the way, this man only have a bachelor's degree in economics. But he runs through his teeth. I ever say he comes from LSE and he makes these numbers. So the people get to see the day-to-day reaction. Look, even the Beach and Waterway project, the young people that are employed under the Ministry of Youth and Sports, for them to even get their pay, they got to protest. That program today, we don't know where it is. Teachers cannot even get their salaries on time, let alone civil servants. What happened to this government when you took over in 2018? The government overburdened the wage bill. Sure. You brought in all kinds of parted mandate and parted style. The CDC was sending their list.
Yeah.
If you hear a public office, a judge that you working in the town and you don't know who the death and cap is going to hang over, the CDC was basically requesting technocrats' job and replacing them with incompetence. They were just requesting this job, they want this job, they want that job, they want that ministry, they want that ministry. You overburden the wage bill. You can't even pay salaries. So they introduce this thing called harmonization.
Yeah.
You cannot do that where a man is fully employed. You cut down his earnings because you want to accommodate somebody in your party cycle. Remember, we know, there are certain directors of the Ministry of Finance, they don't even have office.
Yeah.
You appoint 2% to one position. 2% to one position. They make you cut the salary to 400.
And that it can be so funny, right? That they don't have offices, right? That one person will be sitting in that chair. As soon as that person wakes up to go and urinate, the other person can sit down there and stuff and what have you. The other person that went in the bathroom will be standing until the other person leaves the seat. It is so embarrassing. Just read last year, right? Last year, the global hunger index, the GHI, released a report on Liberia. Liberia scored like 32.4%, right? 32.4%. The GHI. It has become worse. The hunger, the food insecurity in the country. Go read the GHI report. Go read the GHI report on Liberia in 2022, indicating further worsening from 2021. 2021 part that it wasn't easy. Just last year, the GHI report, it has placed Liberia in that bracket of having a serious food insecurity.
Yeah.
There's something where wants us to believe that his government, that the George Weah-led government is doing well. It's making people to believe, that they are getting out of poverty. Can a seeing man like me believe that? Can Darlington believe that? Can George believe that?
Can Oma in the market believe that?
They won't, because this Oma gets up, she get a principal. The market principal is like $3,000 liberty. This old lady goes into the market, sell the whole day. Let's say they bought like 200 items for her, and that old man got to take money from that particular money to go and have food for her children. So now they bought 200, probably that 200 things the items that they bought, she only get like $5 or $10 profit from there. So you mean that you notice that as time goes by, in less than a month, the woman might have eaten the principal, she might have eaten the profit, and the market break.
And then when she go to stack up on inventory to buy her goods, remember when she bought a cartoon or something for 3,000, they tell us 3,005.
It has gone up because of the exchange rate, the US rate in the country, and other factors that are responsible. The country is so difficult, Darlington. Why are people treating our people like this?
But
government should be able to cater to our people. Not our people to go through difficulty. Yeah, there will be difficult times, Darlington. But those bread and butter issues, those basic necessities that the government ought to do, that the government ought to take care of our people, they should do it. They should do it. They should do it. But they are reneging our responsibility. It's so sad, Darlington.
It's very sad, Tevez, and what is even more funny is that Mr. Samuel Tuer makes these numbers and he presented to the Liberian people. The man lies through a teeth to an extent that he can be sweating when he's telling his own lie. So
and he forces his lie in you.
Our people,
you want sharper in you to believe it.
He want you to believe that lie. And our people have an opportunity in this year in October. They have an opportunity to do a full-scale assessment of Mr. Weah administration. And if we say on the show that Mr. Weah have not made some efforts in some areas, we'll be lying to you. But when we do an analysis, when you want to grade people's performance, you look at their overall aggregate. What is Mr. Weah performance in agriculture, education, right? Rural law, 0. Because even though you make efforts, but when we add everything up, when we add a number to quantify your performance, you perform decimally. Yeah. Look at our man, Alvin Wisha, who is Assistant Minister at the Ministry of Agriculture. What is he doing there? When farmers are having food insecurity issue, but he goes to the party headquarters. For the president, he's working when he can make all the political choruses for the CDC. They clap for him. They think he's working.
No, our brother is an expert in that.
That's his area.
God knows how to turn the battle crap.
And you see that, right? And Tevez, the director of I think he's assistant minister for rural development and expansion. The director of rural development and expansion have a master's degree or probably a PhD. Agriculture is not joke. It's not a place where you have party style. Having as our friend, you can find different place saying like talking to information. Let me be one of the assistants there. But you take these people, you just spread them out. They go into this ministry. They are ineffective. Their deputies are the one. Their deputies are the one who are basically doing the job, and they are underpaid. But the people see these things every day. And in 2023 of this year, particularly in October, Liberians, you have an opportunity to decide if Mr. Weah is performing. You now need to decide if you want to retain Mr. Weah or not. The choice is yours. You see everything that's happening. You know that your children go to the hospital with no medication. At the JFK Tevez, that a man will jump down, escaping to pay medical bills and die because he cannot afford a medical bill. At the JFK. Some of these things are right there. Imagine what is happening at the government hospital in Nima County. Right in the city. People are having those kinds of issues. So our people are seeing these things. I think they have a fair opportunity to decide to show Mr. Weah the red card and the political exit door. This guy has plundered state resources. Weah Nometrics have accomplished nothing but acquiring more private properties for Mr. George Weah and his gangs. They have made more private properties ever than when a man played professional football. His 9th Street residence, he demolished that and built a castle that stretches out into the Atlantic Ocean. His house at Jamaica Resort, where he built his many multiple annexes. His rehab residence renovated, and another structure is there, with many more other structures that he and his lieutenants are mounting around the place. The people see this. That is the outright looting of the people resources right before their eyes. That is why when Mr. Weah came to power, the people literally had to wrestle with him for him to even declare his asset. Even when he declared his asset was never made public.
Not at all.
What kind of country is that? That a president will come to power, he refuses to declare his assets. He don't let us to know how much he's coming in with, so we can know how much he living with government. How much is Mr. Weah making? Can his salary allow him to build all of these many homes? Flying useless private jets. Go to these useless trips and bring nothing. Every time Mr. Weah go to the UAE, he goes to the Morocco. We don't want to get money, the same memorandum, but we can see the money.
That paper money.
We don't know. So the people now need to see through Mr. Weah. Tell us.
You know, Darlington, you know, when we say some of these things, some of our brothers, when the CDC see us as being hateful, they see us as being somebody who envy them, who jealous them because they are in that position today, right?
And tell me, not to cut you off, please.
Darlington.
I beg you. Yeah, go ahead.
Darlington, some of our brothers who are assistant ministers, directors, we sit with them. They explain their ordeals, how they've been treated. Look, Darlington, they say, I know Billy goes sweating or what is sweating, you can see the sweat.
But the beard there.
That's our brother. They pretend that everything is okay. That's how they pretend. You will see an assistant minister, 2 or 3 will leave their offices, go and sit to Jefferson Koji office all day without working. You see them to the very land ministry agency, in minister proper office, deputy minister, they are now working, Darlington. How you expect the wheel of the economy to spin? If these people who are supposed to join effort and to aid each other to make sure and come up with good policies that will help strengthen the economic policy of our country, they are not working. Everybody depends on one person. They look up to 12, they say 12 the smartest man in the government. So even when 12 paddle all these lies and bring it to them, give it to them, then they go on radio, they go sell it. You know, because they are not doing their own thing. Back in the days, right? I'm not a lover, I'm not a fan, I'm not a supporter of the Ellen Johnson Virginia. I always say this, Darlington. But you have technocrats who can make things happen.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You have people who make things happen. You have people who make things happen. Right? But unlike our guys, right? Unlike our guys, who we expect better. For me, some of us, we know some of their limitations. We know how far they could go, right? In terms of delivering to those positions that the president appointed them to serve. But we know some of them, right? So you have technocrats who were there. The thing you should have done, come on, man. Have them blended, put them together, and
Retain
make
them,
sure
yeah.
people right, maintain them,
Retain
right?
them.
Maintain them. They know how to spin the weed.
Even tell us not
From
to
there, you
come
just take
not to
people
come
from
to
another
law.
second tree and bring them and say,
The
well, have
unity,
government job.
the Unity Party, under Mr. Salif, managed to educate a group of technocrats. So young men, send them abroad for school. These people went to school on taxpayer dollars resources. They are back into the country. What are you doing with their skills? Are you absorbing them into government? We're not saying that, I mean, they are not members of your party. Some of them are just technocrats. They are not the active political people. They are not the breaker jalabas of this war. They are technocrats. Why would you have technical people in land ministry and agency, but you kick them out of government because you want to absorb your own people? And our friends, Tevez, you talk about this. Every time we criticize their decimal performance or how incompetent some of them are, because some of them are doing well. They say, oh, we vet because we are a poor boy from Clarendon. So where was Kula Fofana when Ellen Jones Ali appointed Kula Fofana? Where was Braga Jalaba? Where was Patrick Mbaye from? Wasn't Patrick Mbaye from the University of Abroad with one trust? Big brother Patrick? Where did Ellen take Jerry PR from? From under the American Liberian hegemony? So they present this picture that Une Mr. is giving the poor people children an opportunity, and that is not true. Ellen Jones went all out. She went all out. All the young ministers that she hired in government. These were sons and daughters of the people. My own sister Miape was assistant minister under Mr. Salif. These were indigenous people's children. But when you query the guys in the CDC, because they are run out of argument, they say, oh, and Joe, we have bring a you are not the first people that have done it. And if you are there, you are incompetent, it is fair enough for us to say it.
And for the fact that let me just register this, right? There are some brilliant people within the CDC like government, right? Who are there to help the government, but there are more people who are destroying the government. Take, for example, the Minister of State with our portfolio, Chokompui, right? If you talk about proximity, right? Chokompui is one of those guys who have close proximity to the president. But do you see the brother show up? Every time you see the guy, he's just working. He's just working. He's just
working. Our men are build the park and they want to swallow the park.
Yeah, there will be some, Darlington, yes, we raised that issue, yeah. There will be some, how they call it, some mistakes down the line and stuff in one of you. But for
he's the
one who supervised. He's the one who supervised the project, right? On behalf of the president. Chokumpi was the one who supervised the project on behalf of the president, right? But you don't see
Chokumpi went and built a bathtub of a pool calling for children. Latin is a
there will be some mistakes. Yeah, we all criticize it. But he was the one who supervised the project, and you have engineers and taking on this project. Darlington. Chokumpi, for example, I'm not ashamed to say this, Darlington. Chokumpi is one of those workaholic government officials that you have in the citizen-led government. These brothers works assiduously. If you have close to like 10 to 15 to 20 Chokumpi can, right? There will be some, massive development and stuff and what have you. The brother has proximity with the president, but you don't see the brother is not flashy. You don't see him in a breaking mood and stuff and what have you. All you see the brother when you see you to show an error implementing government project. You just implementing government project. Darlington, let the fact be established. Even this fellow, somebody will say, "Oh, because I'm my uncle, Wisa Blambo, the Minister of State for President Affairs. That's why he's my relative. On many occasions, I've criticized him as to his performance when you are at the legislature and stuff and what have you. But since the brother has taken over from Nantiano Magay, You found out. You can bear with me, Darrington Cody. The president office is not being exposed like a way it used to be in terms of being reckless and stuff and what have you. He has carried some sense of of administrative decency to that particular office, right? Get these people who know these things, people who can manage administrative stuff, but not those boys and girls every time, where around not doing anything. I've criticized, we said Blambo, the Minister of State, I've criticized on some issue. But since the brother took over the president's office as the COS, as the Minister of State for Presidential Affairs, he has carried some level of administrative decency. There are some other brothers, a few brothers in the city-like government who are trying their best, but majority of them are the problem to this government. And we will not cease to point them out. You can be our friends. We will say it. The Memasi Kabao yesterday, who were one of those major advocates for women's rights and stuff. And what
You're not giving our their chance, man. Like what we hearing?
Today, on their government, things have gone the opposite. Things have gone the opposite, Darrington. Our brother Alvin Wisse, our brother Jeff Koji.
Man. There's no way the president going to make a nine.
So that's just it, bro. They just said that Samuel Toya for all the lalatis and put it and give it to them.
Take it down, man. That's not accurate. Take it down. $90,000. He's only making $90,000. Yeah, that's small thing, man. That's petty cash.
So let me correct somebody here.
I don't know if in America making over $1,200,000.
Gary, let me correct you here, right? The Minister of State with our portfolio, right? The Minister of State with our portfolio is in the president's office. He's in the president's office. The president has some projects and what have you to undertake, right? He can go about undertaking those projects. It is not only the list that is headed by Adekoya or our Bob Pepsi Yeke, right? But the president also has also has projects for on the Minister of State of Apple for the I think the president
presidential projects,
projects. These are projects that Chokonpui is taking care of and stuff and what have you. Yeah, so overall, I hope you get that correction.
And let's just close up on this. And just basically, anywhere the president see fit for the Minister of State, we are portfolio to function in any capacity he wants him to.
He does it.
Yeah. So let's move on. Let's move on to our next talking point. So tell us, yesterday, social media was on fire. It was literally shaking. The vice standard bearer of the Unity Party, Mr. Jeremiah Kuhn, has been invited to the closing argument, and it was been said that was the 7th time turning the invitation down. And yesterday he had promised to come on the closing argument, but in the 11th hour, the Unity Party, according to Tumale George, who one of the hosts on the show, said that the party have instructed him not to appear, and on grounds that he shouldn't appear because there were plans from Kef Hassan to disrupt, the show of him, and just he couldn't just appear. So what do you make of the Unity Party allegedly telling Mr. Jeremiah Kuhn not to appear on the closing argument? Do you find it divisive that the Unity Party vice presidential candidate will be selective on what platform to appear on, who invitation to honor or not? What do you make of it?
Darrington, I wouldn't say divisive, and but let me state this for the record, right?
Right.
It is a prerogative,
right,
of every individual to honor an invitation or to reject it, right? But we're looking at the update that it sends, right? The update that it sends. This is a political season. And I saw on Facebook flooded prior to the vast standard bearer of the United Party's advent on that particular program. there were posts, comments made by supporters of the United Party that their vast and shouldn't appear on grounds that there is a plot there by some folks to having disgraced, and to having disrespected, and so forth. And now, the vast number listened to his party and other supporters and didn't appear. That's his right to reject or accept. But it opted that it sins, right? Was there any proof? Was there any proof? Or has there been anything of such that a guest appear on the closing argument that many of the United Party folks say it is a government operative program? That's that claim. They say it is a government operative program. That's a claim, which of course that is not true. But the leader of the ANC, of the CPP, Alexander Cummings, has appeared on a particular program, and he was accorded due respect. And the issues that were raised were policy issues. The likes of Ben Sandy, the likes of K. Hassan, who disagrees with the CPP, the likes of Jackie, who supports the United Party, and Joseph Boaga. You saw their comportment. You saw their comportment. That show, according to some UP folks, it is a CDC talk show. But ABC appeared, and you saw how that show was conducted. The United Party's vast tenant bearer was extended an invitation. He accepted. Like I said, that's a right to reject or accept. But the object that is sent is bad for our politics. Yeah, what makes it bad, Darrington? That's how in political terms people are being labeled. Every political party is a government in waiting. Tomorrow, if the United Party wins the election, you will have folks telling their Star Wars that are other men doing the election you were against us, so that man not getting that man job. That man will not come near that man will not come near that. That's how it starts. The closing argument has been labeled. So the legs of Ben Sandy, Kev Hassan, Tomolin George, Dr. P. Barrett, and they have already been labeled. They have been profiled already.
Yes, let me hold you. Let me hold you there, and then you probably will come in. The Unity Party people have said on some of them have issued on their Facebook page or pages, whatever. They have said that they will not allow their vice tenant bearer to appear on a show that denigrates women. That is the thing they are hiding behind. Because Kev Hassan have allegedly said something on the show about Stanton Waterspoon getting involved with one of his female co-hosts. You know the hypocrisy in the guys, Tevis. Let me say this here. It is okay if I want to come on the show, Tevis, and I don't want maybe whoever, maybe I don't want Tevis now to be on the Costa Show when they're interviewing me. As the guest, I can request that I will honor the Costa Show invitation to appear, but I request that Tevis now do not appear with me. Why? I don't think Tevis now should question me on the issues. I just don't feel comfortable. You can accept invitation with conditions. But for the vice tenant of the Unity Party to uprightly accept these people's invitation, this has been the seventh time they are inviting him. And in the 11th hour, for him to be pulled by the nose by certain elements in the party that he shouldn't appear on the radio station is very scary in alignment. If somebody wants to be leader of our country, they must be willing enough to take your questions. The reason why I don't see a lot of anger, I see there's one thing that Kev Hassan said. We all come against Kev Hassan for saying what he said about denigrating women on the show. But Kev Hassan was giving specific details. How many people in the public, people are lying, welcome. How many in the public have bashed Stanton Waterspoon to even say Stanton, Kev have accused you. Stanton have not said anything. And let me be honest with you. The reason why the class reloader was created in the very first place was because my friends then in the Unity Party felt at the time that the Spoon Talk never had representation of people of the Unity Party on their show to sharpen the contradiction, so they decided to create their own show. So it was born out of the fact that the Unity Party people were saying, we want to have a voice on the Spoon Talk. And Stanton was not allowing it. At the time, Stanton had the worst to say about Joseph Boyka. Stanton had the most denigrating thing to say about Boyka. So that was how
Dr. Richardson today that she referred to Boyka having cognitive issue.
That's
even the
I would not choose a words for her. I would not choose a choice of words for her. But I'm just saying that the class reloader was born out of the fact that their voice to speak or not be represented on the Spoon Talk, that had the creator that platform. So for the closing argument to have their own show and invite the vice president of the Unity Party, are you afraid in taking the people question? And you want to be vice president of this country? I think it is divisive. You are not different from the CDC, like the way the CDC have privatized the state broadcaster only to the CDC people. The CDC people don't go on any opposition show. They keep the nation broadcaster as the CDC, the voice of the CDC, and they only use their structures that propel their messages.
Darlington, they behave so hypocritical in a sense that I'm not supporting any side, right?
Right.
We've condemned the statement made by Kev Hassan.
Right.
And also, right? Yes, Stanton Waterspoon, right? In response, I'm not in any way defending Kev's statement against Dr. Richardson, right?
Right.
The fact here is for every cause, there is an effect. And for everything that happened, there should be something that might have germinated that particular situation.
Right.
Yes, Stanton sits on a show and Stanton denigrates our girls, our women, saying all sort of despicable things about them. How did they go about, sorry to say, going about with the president and stuff and what have you and this and that. Yesterday, the United Party people, did not muster the courage, that fortitude, right, to condemn Stanton's position against our girls. But yesterday, they allowed their people to appear on Spoon Talk. That's the hypocritical thing about it. That is the hit. You are criticizing Kev for making such a denigrating statement against Dr. Richardson, but yesterday you have not mustered the courage to condemn Stanton's statement against our respond.
I'm not saying you should condemn Stanton and take switch and beat him, but the Kev level an allegation and point out specifics for Kev Hassan to know that that one of the spouses of the accused individual served in Iraq, particularly in Fallujah, for Kev to know all of those specific details. Somebody must have told Kev those things.
Yeah, might have told Kev those things.
Stanton Waterspoon to even speak directly, to even say what he should clear his name, to say these things are made up. At no point in time, I'm a married man here and there, to even comment on that. But everybody lashing at Kev. I'm not fond of Kev Hassan. I think he says some of the most, stupid things from his mouth. But however, this man have said something. The person he have accused, I think you should call them. They have not even responded to Kev to even say that's not true. To even respond to the allegation. But Larry, B brother, welcome on the show. This morning we talk about your man, Samuel 12 making up the numbers. They appear on ERBC. And vis-a-vis, we're also talking about the Unity Party vice tenor bearer, 11th hour, denial of the turning down of the invitation of the guys from the closing argument. What does that speak for our democracy where, certain people want to appear on certain platforms that they don't find valid? What are your thoughts, big brother?
Well, good morning, guys. Can you guys hear me loud and clear?
Loud and clear, Larry.
Okay, perfect. So let me kind of work my way back, right? So first on what you guys are just talking about, the issue with the closing argument and Spoon Talk. I think the big problem there is a lot of Liberians love, not just Liberians, but people in general love sensationalism. They like sensational stories. They like sensational arguments. They like people being in conflict. And it's because of that we pretty much turn our politics into a sort of mortal combat. You know, it's a zero-sum game. Let's just go ahead and kill the enemy. But if you, and I put something on my page the other day, if you pay close attention, the closing argument, their whole mandate, their whole core value was to have discussion on national and international issues, things that are affecting the common folk, right? Things that are affecting the Ma Hawaii, the Ma Esther, the poor people down on the ground, on the ground. But for Mr. Hassan to make some of those sensational stories, I know Liberians wanted to hear that kind of conflict and stuff. I don't think it's good for our discourse. I don't think it's something that the closing argument should have allowed to happen, but they allowed Kev to go on for such a long time. And when the cat was out of the bag, it was kind of hard to put it back. And I see Kev was trying to retaliate, right, because of what Stanton alleged. And in fact, what Stanton said, that was dangerous, right? You can't go out there accusing the president of a country of statutory rape, because he said the president is in fact doing stuff to young girls. That's statutory rape. Yeah, if you pay attention to the statutes and the laws of Liberia, you are in fact accusing the president of statutory rape, and that is wrong. So those kind of discussions shouldn't be put on the table, especially when you just, about 90 days or so from a major election. We got to focus on the core issue. So let's flip over quickly to what the economic chef of Liberia, the man who cooks up numbers. The man who cooks up numbers like he's cooking some tobagi or something. Look, you know why Samuel Tweller say those things and he'll get away with it? Because a lot of Liberians don't take the time to go out and read. Samuel Tweller says something to the international community that is completely different to what he says to the Liberian people. Yeah. Samuel Tweller sent documents to the central bank in the annual report. It's actually in the annual report. In fact, the documentations that Samuel Tweller and the Ministry of Finance sent to the central bank, it's not even the final document. We know by law, we know by the CBL law, by Liberian law, the Ministry of Finance is supposed to report to the central bank by a certain time. What we have there is right now is like a draft. He sent a draft. You know why? Because they're not able to collect reports from the different ministries and the different state-owned enterprises. They don't have those reports. And recently there was talk about them putting out some mandate or requiring them to write reports. Wasn't that something that recently came out? He's saying people are not going to get paid unless they do their reports. They don't have reports. They don't have any documentation. So when he comes out and he says that he has taken about 24,000 people out of poverty, where does he get that number from? Where does he get that number from? Bear in mind, the World Bank and the IMF are actually getting some of their numbers from the central bank, who is getting their numbers from the Ministry of Finance.
So who has reported
Well, imagine, Darlington, you the minister, you tell the central bank, so look, listen, when I get 50,000 people out of poverty, the central bank posts that. Then the World Bank sees that and they grab it, and the IMF grab it. All along, they all may be sharing the same false information. Why? We don't have a database that captures these numbers. Mm-hmm. The people that are supposed to do this work is Listgis. But Listgis doesn't get the fund, and we know Listgis was used for political reasons, so they kind of a big joke right now. But Listgis is supposed to be a separate entity to just have statisticians that will crunch the numbers. In America, we have the Bureau of Labor Statistics. If you want to see good economic data, you go to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. You know, you go to, we have a system on the finance side, we use a system called FRED, the Federal Reserve Economic Data Bank. We go there, we collect data. They ain't got no database over there that crunching the numbers. Listgis not getting any money. So when he says he took 24,000 people out of poverty, I'm like, wait a second. When you came in, the GDP per capita was around $722. In the first year, the total productivity of the country, it fell. It fell 3 years in a row. And Darlington, Teves, Georgie, you guys know, if you have a job and you lost your job, how are you going to support or get your family out of poverty if you don't have no money coming in?
Sure.
People lost jobs. Yeah. In addition to that, in December of 2019, they entered the extended credit facility. In order to get into credit facility to be able to borrow money, IMF will give you a lot of restrictions, things you cannot do. So one of the restrictions was the harmonization. So the IMF forced the harmonization down their throat. And we've seen the IMF do these things in different countries, and it does not work because it leads to even greater poverty because you're forcing people out of work. We saw them do it over in Argentina. People took to the streets, they protested. We saw them in Greece. Years ago, the IMF did the same thing in Ghana, and the Ghanaian government was overthrown. They tried to do it in countries like Liechtenstein. Liechtenstein said, no, we don't want that thing. And today, Liechtenstein got a very good economy. So Samuel Twist says all these things, brothers, because nobody read in terms of what he's saying. But the letters are out there. You can go and read the letter he wrote to the managing director of the IMF, where he is saying they are struggling. And they struggle. So he says they're struggling to the IMF and the World Bank, and then he comes to Liberian people and he said this is the best president ever. So you see, and the people interviewing him, they don't know, they don't have the data, they don't understand it. So they allow him to say these things to get away with it.
Probably they have the data, but they just want to put themselves in that apple polishing situation where they will just be singing praises and asking promotional questions.
And it was a government-sponsored media, right?
ELBC.
There you have it. So they're not going to be able to add some talk.
They had an array of journalists who are pro-regime to ask specific questions.
Yeah. Exactly. Why do you think the president? Why didn't the president never have a news conference? It's because they cannot organize the questions that will be asked of him. So that's why he never had. This is the only president who's never had a chance to meet a sitting U.S. president.
So sad.
So sad. I mean, a formal meeting, not coming with a group of other African presidents to come and meet, but he never met Trump. He never met Biden.
With our long-standing ties with the U.S.
Exactly. We had that good relationship with the U.S., but he was never invited. You know why? Because when he first came in, when that whole missing money saga, that thing kind of set the stage for the entire term. This first term is set the stage because
so the Americans basically wrote him off.
The Americans said, you see, the U.S. embassy in Liberia, they don't just sit there to give visas. They pay attention to social media. They read the newspapers. They're following you guys right now. They're following what's happening right now. They have a lot of CIA operatives working at the embassy. The reason being, that's what they do. They collect a lot of information and they share with the State Department, and that eventually gets into a formal report that sits on the president's desk. So when you come in and you start building your mansion, and then you give some excuse that, oh, you didn't see all these townhouses over here because they were invincible at the time. You guys heard that other nonsense excuse someone said? And then you decide.
Go ahead, Mr. Kennedy, go ahead.
And then you come in rather than you see, if you pay attention to the numbers, a lot of countries where you see them struggling, where they're poor, you will notice they have very poor leaders. There's a relationship between the leadership in the country and how the country is being uplifted from poverty. Countries that are coming out of poverty, they have very good leaders. There's no reason, and I keep saying this, Liberia, we are poor by design. There are people that have their hands in the background that's working something, and they don't want the system to change because it doesn't benefit them. Some of the same old players, we're seeing them circle back now for this election. Look at what his name, the former speaker, Tyler.
Alex Tyler. For some reason, Tyler now is not baptized into the pool of the Unity Party, so he's clean again. He's in Alex Tyler.
The once corruption become has been turned into corruption injured.
Because there's a joke, Larry. and Tevez, let me just say this, right? And that is why, in our quest to bring a change of regime, the agents of change, it's very good for us to ask the critical questions. You want to rescue this country. Who are your left guys on board? We're not saying that we want to select certain individuals for you, but look at just the caliber of people. Some of them, more lawmakers. Some of them who have been behind, whether they are with Mr. George Weah or they are with Mr. Joseph Boyka. What change that they want to desire now in 2024 that they now had the opportunity to do in the legislature?
Exactly.
And I saw from the Secretary General, I saw a release from the United Party signed by the Secretary General that the Senate Bureau of the United Party has met 27 of them, 27 lawmakers, both from the upper and lower house, right? They have met them. Are they not the same people?
And the people agree with us on this one. That the lawmakers are the problem in this country. Remember, you have lawmakers who go to session. All you have to do, look, it's just you go to job, you can go to school, right? Your job is to just take your textbook and read and understand and come to class and ask questions. When the budget is being distributed, whether it is in the draft stage, pending approval and passage, lawmakers even struggle to take up time to sit their behind our desks and read the budget, to even raise issue in the budget. Lawmakers who don't even know what is in the budget. What pertains to young people, what pertains to healthcare. They don't have the time. Most of the time, you go in Morovia, lawmakers are out to be a pilot, and they don't even have study time. So, and mind you, who are those people that are going to go take up time to read the quality of people you send to the legislature? And the people know that. For some reason now, I understand in the opposition quest to take power. I know Mr. We have desperately performed, but look at the caliber of people that are jumping your train of agents of change. So it makes the argument even a lot funny for us that the argument just should not be George Weah should just leave power. Okay, if Mr. Weah should leave power, who are the quality of people that you want to replace him with? Because it appears that many people might just be hateful.
Yeah, always say this,
right.
Yeah, Darlington, you see, that's a great question Darlington is asking right there, because I've been hearing people saying, oh, the first thing we have to do is just win the election. So you talk about winning the election, but you don't have a plan. So what's your plan after you win? They don't have a plan. So how are the people going to be better off after you now win and you have zero plan? Because when I say, okay, guys, can I see your plan, how you will raise money to build the roads, to do the agriculture, to do this? They tell me, so, oh, the party has it. I say, okay, where's the party's website with this plan laid out? There's no party website. We're in the information age. We are in the information age. Where can I go to find information on your plan to take 1 million people out of poverty? You don't have a plan. You just want to win. But look at the people you have surrounded. Look, for me, Jeremiah Kuhn, Prince Johnson is a non-starter right there. It's a non-starter. End of conversation. And then I'm surprised today, people who were so adamant, people who were so strong about war and economics crime court, today they have set aside their moral values because now they just want to win.
Yep.
Prince Johnson was sanctioned for corruption. He was sanctioned.
Yep, pay to play.
Because he was doing pay for play. He was actually, if you read the full report of Prince Johnson, he was laundering money according to the U.S. government. I didn't say so. The U.S. government said so. And we know the U.S. government is extremely good at collecting info. These are the same people who at one time were accused of tapping the Chancellor of Germany's cell phone. You mean to tell me that your little
Security Council?
Exactly. Are you trying to tell me you don't think they're listening to your cell phone conversations? Of course. They don't have to actually handle your cell phone to listen to it. Look, the U.S. government has the when the Colonial Pipeline. I'm telling you, look, real quick. Colonial Pipeline, when it got hacked over here in the U.S., the major oil company, the system got hacked and people put a ransomware on it, so the system shut down, and they had to pay using Bitcoin. Because we know criminals were all using Bitcoin. But when the FBI was able to hack a highly encrypted Bitcoin account to get the money back from the hackers, that just nullified the whole thing about, okay, you have 100% security. Think about it. The FBI hacked a Bitcoin account that was supposedly unhackable. Even criminals now do not use Bitcoin anymore. You mean to tell me that your little Chinese cell phone you have, you think that the CIA can listen to your conversation?
Larry, don't go far, big brother. the Americans were the one who set up the NSA headquarters.
Yeah,
they set it
There
up
you
for us.
go.
They set up the NSA. They control the NSA. The SSR, they security sector reform. They train your people.
And let me say, guys, right? I'm planning to get our recording, right? I was in a meeting on Saturday with somebody very, very important, right? And I'm still convincing that person to get a recording. All of what we've been saying, that Prince Johnson, the legs of Jeremiah Kuhn are the one that are going to run the government if Ambassador Boaka wins, right? The person was playing the recording, I was listening to it. Yeah, Prince Johnson on the call with another person saying, he was talking to a Nimba citizen, saying, you better come, let's join ring and win it here. It won't win it in our body called Jowia with disgrace us. The papa already the men not get strength. That we the one will be running this country. I mean, I swear to everything I'm looking for under this sun.
No,
right?
but you don't need to go far. I mean,
you know what,
the truth of the matter is that
these are things that we've been saying, our brothers and sisters from
Absolutely.
the other side, Ben, and brushing aside some of these genuine concerns. And I'm trying our best to convince that person to give me the recording. We will play this recording on the show when I get it. So our brothers can hear the plan that the legs of Queen Johnson, Jeremiah Kuhn have for this country. So our brothers and sisters can hear.
Right. The framers of the Constitution do not think like the ordinary people. That is why the Constitution put in place contingency plan. In a case the president cannot serve, the vice president assumes the responsibility of the presidency. And I said, yeah, I love Uncle Joe. I have opportunity to say with the old man, if grandpa is making his will, it is my prerogative as one of his grandchildren to know what is in the will. I'm not just going to sign up to any will. This old man is portioning cake for a nation. Old man Boaka, say whatever. He's reached the twilight of his life. I, as a young man, should be concerned about what kind of Liberia old man Joseph Boaka want us to inherit. A Liberia under a Jeremiah Kuhn potential presidency. So you want us to get to 2029 and say, when we'll get to 2029, we'll get to that bridge, we'll cross. That is how Liberians think. Oh, when we'll get to that bridge, we'll cross. But before you get to that bridge, are you taking on your life jackets? We don't make contingency plan. And that's why the Constitution is very clear. In the case that the president cannot serve, the vice president assumes the responsibility of presidency. So on the one, if you elect a Joseph Boaka Kuhn ticket, you must process in your thought that Kuhn can be willing to take on the presidency at any point in time. You are not just voting for JMB. You are voting for JMB and Jeremiah Kuhn.
That, Mr. Collins, is the point. You're actually voting right now, not just for JMB, but you're voting for Jeremiah Kuhn and a de facto, I don't know, president, vice president, whatever you want to call Prince Johnson, he will play a key role. Are you willing to sacrifice your future with Prince Johnson? That is the question. Are you willing to take that chance? Look, I think it was one of the most boneheaded decisions of all time. Yeah, I mean, we've seen bad decisions with like Nukwe. We figured, okay, this time around will be better because Boaka, he's a decent man. Boaka is actually a decent man.
But Larry,
I think now we're seeing people surrounding him.
Why Joseph Boaka always picks these either chair or co-chair or Westminster finals in the House of Representatives? It's a pattern with Nukwe and Jeremiah Kuhn. Why does he always go for Westminster finals?
What people need to do right now is say, okay, can Jeremiah Kuhn run Liberia? Yep. This is a major question. Can Jeremiah Kuhn, how better would he be than George Weah or Alexander Cummings? Can Jeremiah Kuhn run Liberia? The Americans told the Liberian government to get Prince Johnson off the Intelligence Committee because they already had enough information that told them that Prince Johnson wasn't very good for Liberia. When McCarthy had the news conference and he said, Carpe diem, seize the moment. You guys have opportunity to make this country better. But historically, poor countries tend to always select very popular presidents who are bad leaders. Nelson Mandela said it. The issue that we have in Africa is we just have a lot of bad leaders. We have bad leadership that's killing us. Liberia has everything it needs to be very successful. We're not caught deeply in one of the poverty traps. One of the poverty traps is being a landlocked country, meaning you cannot leave your country to go to the seaport because you have to go through another country. And that country can restrict you at any time. So you actually trapped in there unless you have very good relationship. We see things like Central African Republic. We see things. Lesotho is doing good because they have good relationship with South Africa. We know Lesotho sits inside South Africa, and they're doing pretty decent. They're doing a good job. But Liberia, we have the seaport. We have access to the ocean. So we have everything we need. We're not caught in a poverty trap. But what's been killing us? We've been selecting bad leaders, very, very bad leaders, people who lack leadership skills. You know, Madam Sirleaf had great opportunity. She went in there, and what happened? She didn't meet her full potential. She didn't give Liberians a chance to meet their full potential. The country struggled. And here's one thing, guys, because I'll soon be leaving. I gotta head to my office real soon. Here's one thing. We have to prepare for the future. If you pay attention to what's been happening globally, let me tell you what I mean by that. When after Madam Sirleaf got elected, how long did it take before we had the financial crisis in the world? It didn't take but a few years. By 2007, 2008, the world hit a financial crisis in the US. The US had a financial crisis that spread around the world. Job creation in every part of the world suffered. By the time Liberia and other countries got out of the financial crisis, let's look at Liberia, for example. By the time we got out of the financial crisis, it didn't take but a few years. By December of 2013, Ebola hit Liberia. We take 2 steps forward, we end up taking maybe 3 steps back. Ebola hit. It hit Liberia, Sierra Leone, Guinea, and it hit them very hard. It set everything back again. By the time Liberia got out of Ebola, with all that struggling and stuff, they got out of Ebola. It only took about 1 or 2 years before, by March of 2020, COVID hit. And so think about it now, financial crisis, Ebola, COVID. And now, while we're still trying to get out of COVID now, we've managed to COVID didn't hit us too hard, but it hit the rest of the world, and that had a downstream impact on Liberia. By the time we got out of COVID, now we have this whole issue of the Ukraine-Russian war. And because Ukraine and Russia produces a lot of the agricultural products, that is also having a downstream effect on food prices and fuel. So provided the Ukrainian war doesn't escalate, but you can rest assured the next president coming in Liberia, within 2 to 3 years, something drastic will happen again. And do we have that kind of contingency money? Do we have the contingency money? That's why when I ask this question, okay, where are you going to get the money from to do all these things? Nobody can seem to answer. I've heard Cummings talk about how he would get the money because Cummings got a good financial background. He'd been in that sector, very good. Sweden, they don't know where to get the money from. They tried Eton. They actually ratified to put in, it was so stupid. They actually ratified a fraudulent company into law, saying they were borrowing from Eton. The extended credit facility, they don't have any way of raising money, and then yet you have a president who flies a private jet at a cost of $4,550 an hour. How do I know? I wrote the company. I said, your Learjet, your Dassault Falcon, how much does it cost to fly? They told me from RIA to JFK or to any other, it costs about $4,550 an hour. So the president is spending millions of dollars.
So if the president flies for 15 to 20 hours, we have to pay?
Absolutely. And it's also based on the number of passengers you have, because remember now, it's the jet fuel. So they're charging you based. So it can be anywhere from $4,550 to a little over $5,000 an hour, depending on how many people in your entourage because of the jet fuel. So think about it. The president flying private jet. Yeah. So this government, the guys are actually wasting money. Mexico, Obrador, the president of Mexico came in. The first thing he did, he got rid of the presidential jet. He said, we don't need it. The presidential mansion, he said, look, I'm not going to be. He flies commercial, not business class, not first class. He sits all the way in the back in the economy section. You can be riding next to the president of Mexico. Not our man. Our man flies private jet to France for a Zoom meeting. I'm telling you. Yeah. So look, it comes down to are we Liberians going to endure another 6 years of bad leadership? And right now, you look at the key players, it seems like it's inevitable. And it's so sad because the people are actually being kept in poverty by design. It's by design that they're keeping a lot of Liberians in poverty. They have no, The Liberians have no reason to be poor. You can have a lot of you guys sitting over here. You guys could all be potential multimillionaires if Liberia just live up to its full potential by giving you the opportunity to access capital to go start a business. But the people that are running the show, they haven't seen these things. You know, like when Chase took over, when JP Morgan took over Chase and our team went over to New York and we saw how Chase was operating, we said, wow, we've been to the promised land in JP Morgan. We've seen how this thing is done. Let us show you guys now how we do it on the investment banking side. You know, when we took over Bear Stearns, one of the major investment banks, they called me again. They said, Larry, we need you up in New York to go take a look and see. I said, okay, I've seen this stuff before. Let's see how we can turn this thing around. But what was Tuat doing when he was working here in the U.S.? They said he was truck driver, taxi driver, whatever. He hasn't seen these things.
Uber driver, truck driver, all you want.
Yeah, he hasn't seen these things. So all he did is very good at talking.
Just before you leave, I hope I mean moving forward into the new Liberia, regardless of who, you know, whatever new leadership takes over in 2023, I hope they solicit the proper skill set, you know, to move the country for national transformation. Larry, men like you with your ideas, you know, where professionally you have worked, I think it's a lot of things you have on your plate to share for the homeland. I mean, if I know, because sometimes some of you get consumed into just working in corporate America, because, you know, a system, a structure is a lot of respect that comes with it, right? As opposed to going to a completely broken down system with limited capacity. I mean, people are just doing everything they want to do. I hope one day the country can benefit off your resources.
Brother Darlington, the only thing I can do in Liberia is maybe go to the university or one of the schools and teach the people how it's actually done. But to work in the government sector, that is not my thing. I'll be willing to donate my time and teach them in terms of entrepreneurship, in terms of access to capital, in terms of how to turn things around. Because I believe if you invest in the young people, if the government increase the budget in terms of on the education side, I think that's how you turn the country around, because that's what Singapore did. They're an information-based society today.
You have to tell your students to order their books on Amazon, because those textbooks at the University of Liberia, they are outdated, Larry.
You got to go online. You got to have a real online thing. You need iPads. You need computers that can actually be charged from the sun, you know, with solar panel capability to be recharged, and not just relying on electricity and things like that. A lot of the countries have done it. We can do it, but we just seem to have bad leadership. Singapore have passed the U.S. in terms of GDP per capita. It's like 79,000. The U.S. is around 72,000. How did Singapore? And Ambassador McCarthy talk about it. Singapore, they don't have resources like Liberia. Hong Kong is a rock. They have nothing over there. But all these countries that Liberia was so much better than.
It took Lee Kuan Yew, Larry. It took Lee Kuan Yew to transform a little fitting village into an economic powerhouse. Lee Kuan Yew.
A Harvard graduate. But that's the problem. We've just put bad leadership. George Weah is extremely popular. But his popularity didn't reflect, because how did Liberia lose its FIFA ranking? They fell in FIFA ranking under President Weah. Think about it. Under President Weah,
under the football president,
the football president didn't have the leadership to bump up Liberia's FIFA ranking. We lost under President Weah our FIFA ranking. What does that tell you in terms of the leadership? How do you take someone who had the opportunity to create? Look, 1 out of every 9 jobs is created in the tourism sector. Eugene Nangbe came from the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs, and Tourism. How come he couldn't create a lot of jobs over there? What does Eugene Nangbe know about maritime? I know nothing about maritime.
I'm not calling you a Mensa. All of those 3 ministerial positions are himself in what Honor Edin Johnson said. He has some of the people in place on payrolls and stuff. Or private payrolls that they were never incorporated on government. That's a man with a form of creating job.
Yeah, man, we got a long way to go.
That's a form of corruption. You have people extra payroll, personal payroll. That's job creation there.
Job creation.
Is that how you put it?
Let's get Larry a few minutes to close up so we can go to the phone line. You know, I know he got
brother Tennis, brother George Darlington. Look, you can't take someone who has no background in maritime and put them to lead a maritime. The man lacks the vision to do it. Maritime could be getting so much money through LISCA, the Liberian Shipping Registry. but he doesn't understand how Liska is duping Liberia. He doesn't understand that Panama is doing a great job in terms of raising the amount of money. Liska is really enjoying the money that Liska is making is just astronomical. Eugene Agbe has no business being a maritime. All those guys are doing right now is they're spending a lot of money to try to promote George Weah. How? Because they keep hiring foreign lobbyists. $80,000 a month they're paying right now for a foreign lobbyist to make George Weah popular, and he still hasn't met President Biden. 80,000. Let me say it again. Forget about the private jet at $4,550 an hour. 80,000 a month. Go to the U.S. Department of Justice website, and you will see the report in there, the foreign agent registry.
Share that link with me, please. Later on, let me go look there.
I will send you a link. And these guys have been paying over $3 million per year just to promote George Weah. It's all about, that's not leadership. You know, the leadership, it's not a quality of a leader to put yourself first before your people. The people should be first. Inflation is a poor man tax. It's killing the people in the country. There's no job creation. There's no real plan. For all the while, the president is enjoying a fabulous lifestyle on the backs of the poor people.
Propaganda.
Yeah, but then we look at the opposition and we say, what can the opposition do? Are they going to be better than what we have there now? I will leave that one for you guys to ponder. I got to hop in, head into my office.
Well, Larry,
Thank you very much.
All right, thanks, brothers.
All right, Larry.
Okay, guys.
George, you want to announce the number and open up the lines?
Okay, folks, if you are listening to the show this morning, the numbers are called 0770-102-102, 0886-010-TD8TD, the WhatsApp number, +231-880-51TD417, WhatsApp number, +231-880-51TD417, 0770-102-102, 0886-010-TD8TD, and numbers to call this morning. No calls yet.
All right, thank you. Teva, so yeah, my man.
You know, I grabbed something from Larry, right? And so our man, Bebe Dior, that's how he operates. Because he knows the IQ of the Liberian people, how, you know, that almost like the common saying, Darlington, if you want to have something of great importance from a Liberian man, place it in a book. Because stuff, because we normally don't, you know, regard reading, you know, in that way and stuff and what have you. So Bebe Dior, the finance minister, makes it his duty, right? When he's attending these international meetings, he carries along with him what you might call a substantive and verified information on Liberia, where our partners can go and check reasonably. But when it comes to
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Morning, the West analyst. This is Hassan Douglas calling from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Yeah, I was just hearing something which of course I want to, give my own statement. Whenever it comes to the VP pick, for me, I really have problem with it at the time when they pick Jeremiah Kum, because people that struggle with you do not forget about them in the last minute of time. That was my problem. But when it comes to Jeremiah Kum being an individual, who has it? Look at his record, whether he has that tainted record when it comes to criminality, when it comes to the war crime. So if somebody don't have that, because link with PYJ should not be the option to say he is now good. He's an independent man, critical. Even the something we're talking about war crime, economic crime, or the audio just talking about it recently. It's one of the primary goal of them that indeed the first 100 days that should be well discussed.
My man.
And what PYJ have done, and it's quite what printers have done. Crime is not transferable, so we should not be preaching that here and there. It will not help at all.
Too clear.
Yeah. So thank you, guys.
Okay, he ain't got.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Yeah, too clear. My man, let me just ask you this question. Do you think the Unity Party, their 500 days, they will bring war crime? You ready to believe that?
Yeah, I believe that.
What?
They are not shy from this.
The one
They
that, like,
taking it now.
the one that masses,
They
Chief,
don't
listen,
say it one time. They don't
Bossman,
say A before. It's not well discussed.
Bossman,
The first
that is
one
the
day A
rhetoric.
before the
That is
unity
the
party
rhetoric
government is
people want to
elected.
believe.
To me
So
that we are
Prince
going
wasn't happy.
to another 12-year bite. And they put talking every day that
Okay.
these are war crime, economic crime. They should really take it very serious because it's one of the things the Liberian people want.
All right.
And if you,
Okay, God, thank you.
Thank you. So our man Douglas is made to believe that in one red did people bring water.
Yeah.
You know, it's just sad. We have a very long way to go. I think that is the rhetoric the guys want the people to believe that yes, the war crimes code, the economic crimes code is still on the agenda. So Prince Johnson will help you get power. And soon you take off in one red, the first thing you want to do is to say him beyond bad.
Let me just hold you there. We'll have a call on the line. Good morning.
Yeah, quiet.
Yeah, I'm back to the issue with
Your name, sir, your name.
Jeremiah Cole. My name is Tony.
Okay, welcome to the program.
All right. Okay, I'm back with the issue of Jeremiah Cole. In Liberia, Sumo was a strong supporter of NPFL. They were voting him as senator. Joe one of a rebel leader, you allow TDC to vote her, to choose her as running mate. Nobody complained to say, oh, when we are there in office, Joe will take over and Chester will be free. Nobody brought that up. Is it because of a coup today that Prince Joseph became president? Jeremiah Coup is an independent adult with his own mind. All right, all of us have had a personal affiliation, directly or indirectly, but we still blame other people for being member of Prince Johnson or so. I think those things have to start. It's the witch hunting. Now, who can we have in there that don't have no personal favor? It's hard. So let us speak to it. Let give him a chance to perform. And with the issue of the war crime code, not everything that the political side, even in America, do we compete time to talk about healthcare? Does everybody have healthcare? No. I know doing Biden time saying you're going to drop student loan. Have you done it? No. You know the panel who said they would bring a war crime code, but they will not be working alone. They will have to go through the House of Senate in case there's a stomach block that will delay the holiday process. He's not just going to bring it. There are processes involved. So I'm sure within the holiday, they will try to put those things into their proper perspective to make sure war crime code is brought to the bureau.
Okay, my brother. Thank you, Dad. Yeah, Dino, go ahead.
You know, and the guy talking about the legislature, I said, thank to the guy for mentioning the legislature. These are the same lawmakers that you guys are recycling. You know, the people, the Young faction that joined the Unity Party, they have already made their demands for how many legislative seats they will have, how many legislative seats they will retain. And the lawmakers that are coming to support Joseph Boyka, they're not just coming there for nothing. They're coming there because they want a seat to go in.
That's political negotiation, Darlington. That's political negotiation.
So it is the same lawmaker who fell on 6 years to even make the war crimes code issue an agenda. It is the same people you want to send to the legislature. And for some reason, you think the president then will force their hand into doing what the legislature don't want to do. It is the legislature that has the power to issue session.
We have a call line. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes. Good morning, James.
They were calling from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Welcome to the program.
Yeah. I hear Darlington screaming and talking all kind of things. But Darlington, my question to you is that you're not voting. The Liberian people voting are people who they want to vote for.
Are you also voting? Are you also voting?
They're not rebel. They're voting for them,
brother?
and we not get nothing. Not get control over the Liberian people who they want to vote
Are
for.
you George Azam whether he's also voting?
James,
they
let me
vote
ask you a
other
question.
rebels several times. They vote other officials that are still in government several times. No matter how you talking,
James, let me ask you a question. James, you 42?
Huh?
You 42, James?
Me, I'm voting. I register, but look, if I don't
So our own brother Martin K. Cody, right?
Good morning.
Yes, good morning, my brother. Welcome to the program.
What's up, man? This is Kemoga.
Yeah, Kemoga.
Yeah.
We can hear you.
Well, morning.
Morning, Kemoga. We can hear you. Go ahead, my brother.
Yeah, brother.
Yep.
Brother, to be honest, brother, I'm following the something because the show is actually on radio, you know? Yeah, you gotta work on that. To be honest with you,
Very soon, my brother. Very soon.
Yeah, work on that. Online now, you know?
Josh,
okay, my
ask
very
him,
soon.
why you listen to me? Why you hear me, right?
Yeah, Kemoga.
Can Kemoga hear me? Kemoga, can you hear me? Tell us.
Why you say? I need credit.
So, Kemuka, and to our many listeners who follow the show via the radio, not only the internet, we are working on modalities, right? And we are trying to make sure everything is set up this week. Beginning next week, by the grace of God, we'll start airing the show on radio. And you will be informed radio station that the show will be carried on. Yeah? So we are working on this weekend.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, we'll ask him a guy.
So, Dalino, I was like saying something, right?
Right. Go ahead.
Our own brother, right? The caller, I will not ask that question, right? Our own brother, Martin, who writes from Ezra, he's now also voting, right? You now also voting because you didn't come to register. But you have influence, right? To talk to people. Darlington has influence down there to talk to people who to vote for. And the argument, a comprehensive argument that he makes on the Costa Show is bringing people towards the end and reason very well. So it's not about whether you're coming down to vote or you're not coming down.
But you know what they are uneasy and they go after people like us who are critical of their tendency. Even the people who criticize us, they know the level of influence we have in the country too. They know people listen to the show. They're not the best.
They were here a few minutes ago when we were dealing with the CDC. They were here pressing us, saying the best thing, the nicer things about us.
Yep.
Now we also condemn Kev Hassan. They were here supporting. Now we come to JMB and they have issues. Hypocrites. You are the hateful one. You don't want to see anything.
We have a caller line. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Kevin, and good morning to Darlington and all you guys in the studio. My question goes to Darlington. First of all, Darlington, okay, you tell us that GMB selected Jeremiah Cole as his running mate and he'll be controlled by Prince Johnson. So the reason that ticket is not good. But I want you to tell the Liberian people, since this ticket is not good, they should go back for George Weah or who you want the Liberian people to vote for. Thank you.
Okay.
Go ahead, take another call. I'll respond if we have a caller.
No call yet.
Yeah, tell us go ahead. Yeah. I'll respond to that man later.
So basically that's how hypocritical we behave sometimes, right?
Okay,
when it comes to the other people, it is good. But when it comes to your side, it is not. Get call that, Josh?
Yes. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes, good morning, my brother. Your name, where are you calling from?
I'm Richard Harry Jr. I'm calling from Rome. It's tired of the people, sir.
Welcome to the program.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, I want to ask Kevin a little question. Kevin said someone has a recording that the person doesn't say that, oh, we want to win it here because the thing is going to be for a papi or a old sir. So if Kevin had that thing, so if the same idea that Costa been playing that oh the papi is the papi doesn't tell them they can over to as the person to run the function. I just want to know from tell them. Because if people they kind of thing, they spend the kinds of things out. I mean, it's the same intention that Costa has to. Because the papi is old, so everybody to come, they want find out me to enter the executive mansion, so very easy. So everybody think the papi is old, he's not going to live for the next 10 or 5 years. So
oh, sorry, my brother.
Josh, let me say this. Let me respond to that caller. Let me say this, right?
Costa is not desperate like some of you guys. You are not close to Costa. That is why you think the way you think. Because your mind is so limited. Costa is not desperate like some of you guys. I'm telling you, right? I will make every effort, right? If I don't bring that recording here, don't never and ever respect me. Don't never and ever respect me. I'm telling you. And that recording will be made available and will be played on the Costa Show. So you can hear Prince Johnson for yourself.
Okay,
You can't ever say that the same plane that Costa had. I can think foolishly like that.
Teves, let me just hold you there. We have a call on the line. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
My name is Michael Harris, and I call from Minnesota. I just like quickly chime in on two issues. The issue of Jeremiah Combe scheduled to have a PA yesterday, he did not. And I would want to commend the Unity Party for taking such decision. This is election time. You manage your candidate the best way you can because we're in the elections to win. I mean, Jeremiah Combe, I'm very much sure, even if you're taking to CNN, Al Jazeera, BBC, he will make the case any day. But not to go sit down with people who have got preconceived mind to issue disrespect, and you're lying to sit there. No, I didn't know you lived in America. One lie did you see Democrat going to CNN? Vice versa. One lie did you see Republican going to
that caller, right?
They're done.
So that
They don't
caller,
do that.
they don't accept invitation from. I'm coming at Chief. Bossman.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Can the caller hear me?
Yes.
Caller. All right, thank you. Recently, a former
No,
president
let me
Donald
make
Trump
my
was on the
point.
CNN town hall.
Let me make my point. Let me make my point. You got a time. I just got 1 minute.
All right, I give you time, my man. Give you time.
Yeah, thank you. Let me ask me. Now, so you saw the earlier when former defense minister Donald Trump went on our show. Give us an irresponsible, irrelevant question. They may answer a question, he tries to answer a question, you answer the way you want to answer. To the point that it became a dialogue between when Mr. Samuka tried to descend on a little bit as it relates to its understanding, that Timothy Joe coming. Oh no, Mr. Samuka, you take that high, don't attack the panelists. But when you started asking all kinds of questions, that doesn't even make sense. You didn't make any intervention. So you want your remark to go sit there and say, if anybody wants to say, oh, you afraid to take hard question, fine. Like Padre Hono will say, we agree. Whatever you say, we agree. All right? Tell us you got recording, you're going to bring it to play. Fine. I will let you tell me to bring that recording and play. But you want to say, when recording come on your guy, don't come on issue and get tell us, say, oh, that recording was daughter. Please, we want to listen to the recording. But when you won't come on your guy, don't tell it was daughter. Because for you, when it comes for you, it's authentic, it's factual. When it comes for other people, it's not factual. Thank you. You can ask me if you want to now.
Okay.
No, he can go off the line. It's okay. He can go off the line. So the caller just mentioned that I'm in America and this and that. Just recently, former President Donald Trump, a Republican candidate, had appeared on CNN. Donald Trump is contesting for president in 2024. He hosted a recent interview with Caitlin Collins. Probably some people are not following. Donald Trump was recently on a CNN show with Caitlin Collins. So, but even when Donald Trump, was president of the United States when he was 7, at no point in time did Trump accepted an invitation from CNN. So what I'm saying, you reserve the right to go on any platform, but don't give the people the expectation that you will come on your show and in the 11th hour you don't show up. It is divisive. If Mr. Kuhn wants to be vice president of our country, he must avail himself to all platforms to take the hard question. You are making no difference like the CDC, because the CDC people don't go on certain platforms. Why was even the class reloader established? The class reloader was established in the first place to be a voice for the Unity Party, for the Joseph Boyka agenda. Because they never had a voice on the Spoon Talk, so they established that other show. Yeah, you are. You want to censor on who can go on certain show, then you are not making any different, though. You're not being any different. Can the Unity Party go on ERBC to promote Joseph Boyka, even though it's a state broadcaster? Is ERBC the CDC radio? And that has been the culture, even when the United Party were in power. The CDC now even has access to the state broadcaster. We must change that narrative. The state broadcaster is for everybody. Even the journalists who work at ERBC, they are careful to even report things on the opposition, because some director at the LBS will probably have them fired because it is assumed to be the political tool of the government, which is wrong.
Yeah, Diana.
Yeah,
No call.
and Tavis, you got anything to say? We probably got to close up though.
So yeah, show you guys wait. You guys wait, right? You guys wait, right? I'm establishing contact, right?
See you on your phone, my man.
Yes, that's what I'm back and forth exchanging.
You better, you let
Bro,
them people call it
if I play that recording here, don't never ever respect me. Yeah, Prince Johnson playing. Yeah, I mean, you gotta support the arrangement, because if you do that kind of thing, that job we have all disgrace.
But not to cut you off, right? Prince Johnson, who has said some of the nicest thing about Joseph Boyka. Prince Johnson said, I don't want to say some of the things he said about the old man. I don't want to use this platform to say that. You think they will just support Joseph Boyka because Joseph Boyka from Foya, or because he was former janitor at CWA when he was growing up? They have interest. They have interest. They have their agenda. So I do believe you, Tevas, if Prince Johnson said that.
You know, so these guys are, I read some of their comments, right? You hear Prince Johnson. They may already, what can they man do? That we don't want to be running that thing here. Yeah? You're not happy, we'll come and get it here. You come join us. It is so sad. It is so sad for our country. And I think some of our brothers in the UP know this. Our brothers and sisters, they know this. But because they are so desperate, they won't come there and eat their own and do this and do that. That is why people...
They ate their own for 12 years.
Yeah.
And
people want to see genuine things.
You just creating yourself like the immaculate, like the so plain.
Yeah. People want to see genuine change, right? Was Jeremiah Kun the only option? That leave Costa out of the picture. Was Jeremiah Kun the only option? You guys sit there and think that some of us were stupid. We never ate our school fee.
We are counting to support
never ate our school fee
party.
Eh? This is the same Prince Johnson I was supporting CDC just a few times.
Yep.
You had all of the worst things to say about Prince Johnson.
You're going to process more opposition to us to support.
Yeah? You had the worst thing to say about Prince Johnson. You had the worst thing to say about Eric Startup. Then when somebody says it, then you say, you got to win first before you leave. Nonsense. That kind of a saying, that saying, it doesn't fit in my shoe. It doesn't fit in my shoe. Why you can't say that to me? Do you still maintain your point that Prince Johnson is a murderer, a bloody test murderer? Do you agree with me? Can you still bring out that argument? Can you say to me that Eric Startup is a criminal, is a rogue? Can you also say that? Can you say this? Can you muster the courage to say this? Only because they won't come to power and steal. Are there any difference? There are political negotiations going on. These guys are coming to support the UP. They are not just coming by hand swinging because they are patriots. Who made them patriots? Who made them nationalists? They are all there to seek their personal interest. You can't sit down here, you want to lecture me about patriotism? Are you fit to lecture me about nationalism? Then when someone said, just a few minutes ago, we're dealing with the CDC, we're dealing with Kev Hassan, we're dealing with Stockton Waterspoon, somebody that were hearing. But when the facts are being told about the United Party and JMB, then you come here and say, hey, this and that, you call somebody hateful. You are more dangerous to the state than some of us. You are dangerous to the state than some of us. You said, yeah. You think some of us will have our feelings? You sit there and call names. If you feel that this show is not supporting you, have the class reloaded, you have the spoon talk, go to their show and leave us alone. You can go to that show and leave us alone. But we will say what is right, and it will sink in your skull.
Absolutely.
Tomorrow, posterity is going to judge us on the right footing. No one on the show will enslave their conscience.
Absolutely not.
Tell me about patriotism. Are you the holder to anyone's political future? Are you a holder to anyone's political future? You say when Costa doesn't support JMB, it is the end of Costa political life, or it is end of anybody's political life.
And the city was telling
you sound disrespectful and arrogant. You sound disrespectful and arrogant. Who are you? Who are you to determine where someone should go? If you go in there, am I forced to go there?
when a hard truth are being told, then you take offense. You are the real enemy of the state. George, we are in the legs are not enemy of the state. You are the enemy of the state because you make the bad decision. If somebody was a criminal yesterday, within a twinkling of an eye, you design them and make them a Puritan. You are very desperate, and your desperation will lead you to nowhere. Bye-bye, Cars. Thank you, Tevez. It's a powerful closing. George, well, let me say this. The Liberian people, you have a lot of options that want to be president. The choice is yours to go and look in the opposition camp and decide for yourself. Nobody is saying here that Joseph Boakai is the worst, but we are just unhappy with the way in which Joseph Boakai want to lead this change agenda. Some of the people we criticized yesterday, some of the people that were in bed with the regime, for some reason, they are 6 more opposition, and you bring them, you say we should work together. What kind of lawmakers they were? Jeremiah Kun, former co-chair on Ways, Means and Finance in the House of Representatives. He recently just went to the House of Senate. Many of you don't know. When I say on the show, why does Joseph Boakai always take interest in going for either chair or co-chair on Ways, Means and Finance? Jeremiah Kun was co-chair to Thomas Fala. What kind of Liberal we want to see? These are the hard questions. Oh, we just want to win. Who are the agents of change? Alex Tyler? A corrupt speaker who presided over 66 concession agreements? And all 64 were bookers? Are those the change agents? Liberians, man, we need to be fair to the conversation. Not because you want to see Mr. Joe Boakai as president. We all want to see that. But if Joe Boakai is making the big mistake, if the caliber of people around Uncle Joe, they are not right, it is okay for us to tell them. Then when we tell you get on easy, it's our duty to come on here and tell you. Because tomorrow, posterity will judge us. So that when the country degenerates under a cool presidency, you guys will not have tears to share. Because some of us will be there to remind you. Like John the Revelator on Patmos Island will be there to tell you, but we told you. Like Noah, we told you that there was latter rain coming. We'll warn you. It's our duty to warn you. Sometimes people don't like the fact that they can stomach truth. When you tell them truth, they get uneasy. You say you want to rescue this country. Who are your lifeguards? There are quality of people on the opposition shelf. Councillor Tiawan Gongla want to be president. Look that way. Mr. Cummings want to be president. All of the options available to you in opposition. Clarence Monaba, a lot of people have announced their presidential bid. Don't make it look that the Liberia have reduced. The only 2 options Liberia have reduced is a Joseph Boakai and Dawia option. Even in our criticism with Joseph Boakai, if the election make it to a second round, if Joseph Boakai do make it to the second round, you think we'll support Wia and leave Joe Boakai? No. We'll support it because you, Liberian people, have narrowed down that responsibility or that choice option to us. Some of us, we are not supporting Joe Boakai because we want public jobs. We're supporting Joe Boakai because we want to see change in our country. That is the country you have. The country remain backward the way it is because you keep on recycling one group of thieves with another group of thieves. And you wonder why your country is the way it is. You think some of us, we are concerned about your comments on the live feed? If you don't want to watch the show, it's okay. Just yesterday, our show, we made about 500 people were watching us live. Go there. The view now is about 7,000. People still will listen. We are not airing on the radio like we used to, but the people will still listen to the show. The impact we're making is still there. So you get on easy because we don't use this platform to come here and sing Kumbaya to Joseph Boakai. No. Joseph Boakai not paying for nobody, upkeep yet. We are independent thinkers. It's our responsibility. We have a soul of the country to protect. If Joe Boakai is making mistakes, it's our duty to come on here and say, Uncle Joe, we disagree. We're just talking about how Samatua manufactured the number you were clapping. And how Mr. Weah don't show any meaningful impact. The caliber of people. Why did the Americans sanction Prince Johnson? For political corruption. Pay to play. America, one of your greatest allies. You want to win? And the Americans now, they are seeing Prince Johnson on the stage with Joe Boakai. You know what does that signify internationally? The people don't take us serious. What does that signify internationally? When America have sanctioned Mr. Prince Johnson in 2020, go and read a report on Prince Johnson. and you bring the political anointed son of Prince Johnson, and you want to crown him indirectly president of our country, and you want us to stomach that and say, oh yeah, like therefore they want 2020 now, we'll get to that road, we'll cross. That is the problem we have. We don't make no contingency plan. And that is why the framers of the Constitution make a plan that in the case where the president cannot say, the vice president assumes the responsibility of the presidency. Is Jeremiah Kun willing on the want to be president of our country? That should be the hard question I leave you with, my friends. Thank you all for listening. And Josh, thank you for producing the show, and it's bye-bye from my end.
Okay, Talenton. We'll be here tomorrow. Okay, folks. Thanks for watching.